support. Some of the support.
I'm with the North, man. Yeah, always been.
go to mommy. Yeah.
How can we tell?
Come this way.
She goes that way, and I can go this way. Hide it!
What's up?
Right here.
You are right there. I can see you.
Let's be a cat.
Honey, come on down. Come down. Levi needs to go to the toilet back. Quickly. Sticks.
You gotta go to mum because Levi's gonna go talk.
Quickly.
What am I doing?
I think mum's still on.
Hey, Hudson, we have some snakes in our cave.
Yep.
Well, hello and welcome to Pontville Oval, where a home final awaits for the North Hobart Demons, looking to see if they can cap off a pretty good season for them, sitting third at the moment, depending on if Glenorchy win and if North Hobart lose. The North Hobart home final is all theirs for the taking, whereas the Brighton Robins are just looking to get that last win on the board. It's a breezy day here at Pontville. Bo Downham in the commentary box. To my right is Chris Rowbottom. Rowie, good to be here with you out at Brighton. A little bit breezy and a little bit chilly.
G'day, Bo. Yeah, it is a little bit breezy and a little bit chilly, as you mentioned, but I must say the conditions not as bad as I expected they were going to be. I thought we were going to get a little bit of rain. I thought it was going to be bitingly cold, but all in all, pretty good conditions for footy, given we are in sort of mid to late August. And interesting little clash. North Hobart obviously heavily favoured to win this one, and I guess from a Brighton perspective, the last opportunity to get a win in season 2025, winless for season 2025 in their first step up into the Premier Division. But I have called Brighton a couple of times this season and they haven't looked like a winless team. They've been okay in patches and maybe a little unlucky not to have performed a little bit better, but we think there's a couple of outs this afternoon as well. We haven't seen Max Lamb at this stage, so that'll be a big omission for the Robins if he is indeed out. But interested to see what sort of fight they've got in this last game of the season and what North Hobart can produce as they look to participate in the finals.
And of course, 7 outs add-ins for North Hobart as James gets them underway. And quick kick inside the forward 50 from Caswell. He just spikes it forward from Bingham. Wilson has a bit of time to gather, tight along the boundary. Still going for it is Tremaine. Lewis Johnston, Monks, one of these former Demons who are trying to get their first win for Brighton today. And we'll see a stoppage first of the day out of sight in front of the spectators near the canteen. It's a good community ground here in Brighton. Canteen food is pretty good as well, I must say. We'll have to duck over at half time as coming through the stoppage was Gardner. He'll go and pick up his own ball out to Waller. That torpedo kick out wide is not good. It's actually into the car parked for a matter of fact. And we'll see a kick for Brighton for North Hobart trying to go forward for couple of times already.
Little confusing, isn't it? Brighton in the traditional North Hobart colours. The red V, of course. North Hobart today wearing the away or clash predominantly white strips. Little ball inside here, looking for Reeves. Knocked away from him. Pepin at the fall. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. Shook a tackle or two. And that was Dixon. Back to Pepin, whose kick was smothered. 1-on-1 out on the wing. They go in after it. Bailey there for the Robins. Eventually it's all locked up. And there'll be a ball up on the outer wing. Lots of cars jammed in here this afternoon, which is good to see. Last round of regular season action. There's a free kick off the ball here. There's a North Hobart player was just put on his backside. It was Caswell off the play. That's a little gimme. Goes in the Janes direction, but beyond him it's Kilpatrick floating and taking the chest mark. He's a little wayward with his kick inside, having to go and find it. It was Caswell, the late in this afternoon. Bubbling around at half forward now. Strong tackle applied. It spills out of the arms of Finn Lapham. Howlett goes in after it for the Robins. Into the outer side now. Chopped away by Gardner. Bouncing ball towards our broadcast position. Here's Tyler McGuinness, who just craftily knocks it over. Forces a stoppage. A ball in from directly where we find ourselves here, Bo Downham.
We are in the thick of it at the moment. Meadows against his old side. Nathan Janes taking on him, who's having a stellar season. One of the breakout players for the Demons to lead them to finals victory for well over a decade. Tremaine. Kick just inside the forward 50. Shrugging the tackle there was Pepin as well. He's having a pretty good season for the D's. Meadows. Coming out of the stoppage there was Sulzberger. Not playing in the wild card round today for the Devils. Hand pass off, but Wilmot happy to usher Saavedra over the line. Of course, that wild card round leaving the Demons with 7 ins and outs. A couple of them being Boval, Miller and Devine. Just to name a few, Prokopiece and Volter as well would be playing in that round at the moment. I think they're getting beaten quite convincingly though, as we see another stoppage. Umpire calls mine, and we'll see a ball up again in front of us here in the commentary position. Tap down from Janes. Coming away from the stoppage nicely was Caswell. Hand pass flicked off now to Pepin. Short kick over the top of Hope, or Poke rather. Nuss coming through with it with speed for Brighton was Davey. And boundary line beats everyone. Hugh Williams against his old side as well. We'll see a throw in front of the interchange boxes.
Both teams yet to score. Early stages of this first term. Sprightly start from both teams. All right, there is a little bit of crossover between these two teams. They contest the ruck, trying to get through and win a disposal, but unable to do so. So Sam Lewis Johnston. They go at it once more. Back out of the congestion. Doesn't quite work out for Saavedra. Hobart come away with it by hands. They work it well. Lapham combines with Pepin. Prominent early. Around the body kick is nicely worked to McGuinness, who marks on his chest. Such a good player for such a long time. Tyler McGuinness bites off one into the middle of the ground. It was laced with some risk, but come off well. James gets it off to McLeod. He moves it to half forward. And that was a little cheeky, but Fuglslang's able to take the mark and send North Hobart inside 50, top of the square. It's all Robbins. Getting back and taking the mark was Meadows.
So Meadows at true fullback, looking to send this one down the commentary side. Big thumping kick is Charlie Meadows. Walker stood at the back, fell into the lap of McGuinness. Bites off a kick into the corridor, which works out to McLeod. McLeod chips another one over the top, but Brighton with the numbers are going to try and persuade this one forward, although standing in the road was Sulzberger, who sockered one off the ground to half forward, but a push will be paid and free kick going the way of Riley Davies. So they're going to move out again in this commentary side wing. It might be the play of the day as Brighton go towards half forward. One bounce they go. Kick inside the forward 50, nearly awaiting there was Bierman. Another one of these young players who are looking really good for the Robins. Bierman. Deliberately short. And it's a good kick working out to Morgan. Tight along the angle. It's going to take some sort of kick.
What's this breeze doing, Bo? Any assistance here?
Yeah, probably beyond the range of course, and then the wind will be a little bit difficult for him. So Morgan getting at the first score of the afternoon. Tough conditions. It's hooking back okay. It's nearly there. It's just hit the post. So Cody Morgan getting the first score of the afternoon. He wasn't even supposed to be playing today, Roy, and he has got the first by way over behind.
He actually kicked that from still outside the boundary. That would have been some finish had he been able to convert. In from full back, here's Pepin again. I reckon this is touch number 4 or 5. Back to McGuinness, and I reckon he's had an equal amount of the footy. Meadows unable to bring it under his spell. He invites the pressure from a pair of demons. They gather in over the footy and it's going nowhere. Umpire arrives. James and Meadows. It's going to be a good contest throughout the afternoon. Meadows tries to get away. James locks him up. James has had some monsters this season in the ruck for North Hobart.
As well as Meadows as well. He's 5th in the competition for hit-outs, Roy.
And a couple of the big boys. Sulzberger clears by hand. Here's Castle on the outside. Awkward left foot ball. Poke. Did well to control it, then brushed a tackle. Kick wasn't so good though. Invites in a couple of Robbins. Bursting off half back. That'll be holding the ball. It was ambitious from Williams. And they get things moving immediately to the Demons. Sulzberger spies a man at right half forward. Fuglslang takes the mark. Inboard to Pepin now. Comes back outside. Hangs it up in the air. It's a good kick. McLeod takes the mark. Right half forward for the Demons. A little far out to score, so pops one into the pocket and finds Kilpatrick on the lead. So he'll kick for North Hobart's first. 48 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle.
Patient build-up from the Ds. Although they have had a couple of bites of that corridor kick to start this encounter off. Looks like they're trying to be ultra-aggressive against this young Brighton team. Rowie?
Had a good year, Callum Kilpatrick. He's going to pass this one off. Had a little option in the pocket, and he obliges. Jack Wilson provides the option. So he doesn't do the angle any favours, but he does shorten the distance to goal. And so this will take something pretty nice from Wilson, from right up on the boundary. Lane's back on the kick. It was always missing to the nearest. No, it wasn't. Well, I thought it would shaving the outside of that right-hand goal post, but that is quite the finish.
I was with you on that one, Roy.
For the first goal of the day, and he snuck it home. Jack Wilson take a bow. Good option from Callum Kilpatrick. North Hobart are on the board, 1 straight 6 to Brighton, 1 behind.
I did think he missed that. I was with you on that one, and then he sort of just persuaded it back to hook. It wasn't the easiest kick you'll ever see, and they make it look pretty good in the end, do the Ds. That's 1 straight now to 1 or 0-1. As we drift back into the middle, of course, a home final on the cards for North Hobart. They need to secure that by a win first off. If they lose, it's in the hands of Glenorchy. So drifting back in now, Meadows and James. Meadows into the path of Gardner. He's had a brilliant year. Nuss looking to go to this outer side. Goes good. Beerman nearly. Fist from behind from McGuinness. Spills out now to right. Back to McGuinness. Using a link of hand passes. McLeod. Next link in the chain is Wilmot. One of the ends today. Wilmot goes further afield now to Nation. Just hung a ball up and Salter was all over it with a fist from behind. Still going at it at ground level though. Slipping over for Brighton were free. Pepin bites off a kick, which was nicely weighted to Lapham. Lapham's kick inside forward 50 is not a good one though, and Brighton tracking back at half back. Salter into the path, but cut off by Reeves. It was intended for Morgan, and now Kilpatrick can try a spread. Meadows at ground level. Still out now for Caswell, or Sulzberger rather. Wright, James, McLeod, Sulzberger. Everyone just sort of bobbling around at the moment, not going anywhere, but now Brighton are going to try and go forward. Free. Wilmot at the back of the pack, and they're going to try and move it out to the outer side.
And they do so with relative success. Ferguson had to just wait for the bounce. It eventually bobbled up into his hands. Oh, the mark was paid to Sulzberger. He didn't quite complete it, but good enough to get it off to a runner coming past. Now it's a right, look away handball, no good whatsoever. Oh, the bounce just eluded Waller momentarily, then he ran into trouble. No prior opportunity, brought to ground, a ball up.
They've competed quite well at the moment, Brighton.
Yeah, they do this. They start games pretty well, and they're in games for large portions. The Robins, it's just that little bit at the end where they tend to drop off and fade away and get blown out a little bit. And I don't think some of the scorelines this year accurately reflect how competitive Brighton have been, particularly in first halves. I hope maybe the last game of the season, who knows, can they force an upset? Another stoppage here on the outer side. So it'll be Janes and Meadows once again. This was Janes with the hit out down into the path of right. Little spiral inside forward 50, but this is going to be chopped off. So Robbins' ball, the rebound kick. He wanted Morgan out wide. He put him under the pump. Lapham was there to mop up, feigned a handball to the outside. Now he will drive the footy inside 50 in that direction again, but that's a nice intercept taken. And the relieving kick, it hung in the air for Howlett, but he had enough time and space to take it on his chest and get things moving off half-back for the Robins.
So off half-back now. Hand pass just over the head of Free. Still going to go for it. Free. Moving down this outer side. Just fumbled it and trying to slap it out of the hands was Nation. Pepin quite happy to see the boundary line. We'll see a throw in here just in front of us. So 12, nearly 13 gone in this first turn. Throw in just held up in the wind. Meadows, that was bound to be very cold. Wind just taking that one. And we'll do it all again. So Gardner's having an impact already. And we'll have our throw in. Very cold. That one's a better one. Meadows winning the tap down just off the hands of Paulson, still going at ground level, working his way into it was Hayden, and now spreading out from Ferguson. Fulsane working down this outer side, hand pass to McGuinness, overlap run looking good for the D's, bites off a kick to Wright. Right further afield, it was a scrubby kick out to Wilson, but he's got a bit of time to work into it. Wilson still going. The D's inside forward 50. Pack forms off the hands of Lapham. Mopping up was Gardner. So Swift out of that one. And now the Robins will nearly turn it over. Standing in the road. That was Howlett. Strong tackle laid from James. And making sure they didn't come away with it was Hayden at ground level. We'll see a ball up just inside the forward 50.
So pressing here, North Hobart. Contest once again. They split the ruck contest. Handball out of the congestion. Evans with the numbers. Fighting really, really hard. Eventually brought to ground. Tackle laid by Watkins. And Caswell, the laid in, emerging from the bottom of the scrimmage. Oh, almost a big hit avoided there. Fugelslang got it off to Sulzberger. Now right inside 50 they go. Wilson the fly. Got to the front. Was he dragged down? Well, it was either that or he took the mark. And he's proving quite the target in the early stages of this game. He has one to his name already. He'll kick for a second here from about 45 metres out. So he had two Robins to compete with, but just judged it in flight a little bit better. Worked his way to the front. Took a nice mark. So Wilson on the approach. Oh. It's a shank off the side of the boot. Won't get the distance, but fortune favours Caswell, who marks on his chest. And he'll have a far easier set shot for goal. 20 metres out on a slight angle.
Just sending it up, I reckon. Knew where that one was going to go.
Just the deliberate shank, you reckon, off the hosel. So Caswell, off the emergency list, pops it through. North Hobart have their second. So they get a little bit lucky. But right place, right time was Caswell. Pops in his first of the afternoon. North Hobart's second. And they extend this margin. They're 2 straight 12 to Brighton's 1 behind.
It is a ground where you can move the ball quickly from end to end, Rowie. That on full display from North Hobart a couple of times in this contest. If North Hobart can do it, I cannot see why Brighton can't keep themselves in this game though. They'll be hunting for their first and only win potentially.
They have had the target of Max Lamb for most of this year, and he's been a pretty good one. So without that, it makes things tougher. But when they do move the footy up this near side, they do look pretty dangerous. Just that last kick and that last target.
So Meadows has drifted down there now. Young. Neither ruckman really getting a decisive tap down. Johnson. Gardner out of the stoppage. Dribbles one towards half forward. Picking it up was Bailey. His ball inside forward 50. McGuinness fisted it out of the way. Cunningham, or rather Bierman, looking at the wrong team sheet there as we still go trying to work their way out. The D's, it was a throw though. So free kick to the Robins. It's going to be Sam Lewis-Johnston to take this one. Howlett's calling for it. A couple of players moving into position. Jacob Young on the line. Lewis-Johnson sneaking around out the back with Saavedra. But Lewis-Johnson looks pretty comfortable with this one. This to bring him back to a goal. Sam Lewis-Johnston runs over the mark, sends it towards home, and just missing near side.
Looked okay off the boot.
It did.
So their second score of the afternoon, a minor one. Tyler McGuinness lopes out of fullback, nurses the ball beyond defensive 50. Bailey Walker's there, down into the path of Morgan, and immediately claimed. North Hobart by 10 points, 2 straight 12 to Brighton's 2 behinds. Jacob Young and James rips it out of the ruck, then just fires a handball with the aim of gaining as much territory as he possibly could. It'll end up in Brighton hands here though. Here's Williams, slaps a kick forward, misguided. Sulzberger had to juggle it, but was good enough to control it and bring it down and hold the mark at left half back for the Demons. And that's a good mark floating across by Kilpatrick. Neat ball, up the line is good. Here's Reeves. Haven't called him an awful lot in this first quarter. He went in the Wilson direction, wanted a free kick. Umpire, this might be a very, very late whistle.
It was quite late.
Well, he sort of appealed,
Yeah.
and I thought it was there as well. The appeal deemed successful. Umpire Mark Tuckett, the official. Oh, and another little stab pass inside 50. And here is Reeves marking on his chest. So a low worm burner, and Tom Reeves' first significant involvement coming up. He's been a really good contributor for the Demons this season. Played a bit of state footy as well. Good player. He'll kick for goal from about 45. Looks okay, just drifting to the left-hand side, a minor score. So their first blemish. The Demons, 2-1-13. Brighton 2 behind.
Nearly holding its line. Gardner kicks out to Young. He's having a pretty good year as well, Jacob Young. As they work the way down this interchange side. Meadows stood in the road, fist behind from Walker. Still going at it was Boval. Hand pass forward to Bierman. Can't quite reel it in though. Wright's hot on his tail. He'll pick this one up, and hand pass just got cut off from Wilmot. High free kick going the way of the D's. So Sam Wright. Pepin had to just buy off a bit of time. Did that well. McGuinness. Little 9-iron kick to Lapham. Pepin down the line. Flying from the side was Young, off the hands of a couple, but they deemed it a mark. Walker looking a little bit proppy. Hasn't had the best of luck with injury, so he chips a kick over to Hayden. Hayden's long ball inside forward 50 favours Meadows. He worked his way to the front. Out the back was Boval. Pushed over in the end for the Robins. Was Bailey. Ball up inside forward 50. So Meadows. Dixon. Hand pass. Chopped off. Bailey picking his pockets. We'll do it all again.
So stoppage inside forward 50 for the Robins. Off the hands, flying through was free. This kick was in hope more than anything. Able to find a target. Full Sang took the mark. Couldn't hit a target coming out of defence though, and they force a stoppage on the outer side for the Robins. So good pressure. Flying across, Riley Davey, youngster. They have been pretty young this season, the Robins. Davey and Bierman and a couple of others. Down the ruck, Young, spiral, high ball, inside 50. Who can get underneath it? There was a man tracking back goalward. It stays in play somehow. Oh, that's a good tackle laid. A really good tackle by Saavedra. Unrewarded. So a ball up, right at the teeth of goal. There's a free kick off the ball here, and this will go Brighton's way. So golden opportunity for the first of the afternoon for the Robins. And that was a little sloppy from the North Hobart defence. And putting through a very, very easy one was Tyrone Bailey. First goal of the afternoon, Brighton. And they applied the pressure inside 50, drew a free kick, and they get on the board with their first major of the afternoon.
Yeah, played a bit with Glenorchy actually during their sort of struggling time as a club. Paved his way out here. He's a solid player and a high flyer as well, Rowie. Still looking to see that this year, but he can play. He'll be a solid contributor for years to come for the Robins as we drift back into the middle. I don't know what Coach Paul Kennedy's thinking at the moment. Probably pretty happy with how they've started off this first quarter and this game as we go back in. Fist from Janes. Rucks and roves his own football and then just torps a high one inside forward 50. Holding free kick it is to North Hobart and to Caswell. So we'll just waltz out of the 50. Maybe looking for an option. Maybe the wind will favour this one if he can get it behind him. Leeds present. Looks like he's pretty happy with going for it. So Caswell just chips one into the path of Reeves. Cut off though from Morgan. Reeves and socket off the ground again from Morgan. Lewis Johnson. Hand pass is intended for Nuss. Salter just stuck the hand out. And they nearly came away with it there. Brighton, if Salter didn't.
We've done that 3 or 4 times now, haven't they? One for the set shot, then the little pass off.
Need to be on high alert if you're in the defence of the Robins. Young. Morgan. Tracks across goal, but a turnover. Risky kick. And Wilson again. He's going to line up for his second of the day. It wasn't a great kick. You could sort of see what he was trying to do to shift it across the face because they were stuck on that near side, but it's not going to quite work out the way they would have hoped, and Wilson's going to go for a near certain goal. Wilson for number 2. Oh, put the moz on him. He's missed that. There's Jack Wilson.
Well, I had that marked down in my book, so I need to get the white out. I angered the footy gods by doing that, I think. Forced the moz. And that's an opportunity that goes begging for the Demons as Young takes a strong mark here for the Robins. Plays on immediately by hand, and they launch here off half back. Meadows was the target, well roved, centering ball, who's at home? Oh, just missing it was Saavedra. Going in was free, good contest. Now he's able to butter up and lay a tackle, bring it to ground and force a stoppage. So they split the contest. The ball up, deep in attack, knocked away. Lincoln with a clean disposal. Sulzberger flashing through. He was able to just miss the handball to James, but good enough to recover. Slapped the ball into the middle of the ground, but it's all Robbins. Had a man on the near side that he elected to ignore in Whitney. He might get involved here anyway. Off hands. Caswell. Almost turned directly over. They fight after it. The umpire's going to arrive on the scene here and say holding the ball against the Robins. Free kick going the way of Finn Lappin. So Pepin receives the handball. Neat ball is good. Kilpatrick. Right in front of the commentary box here at Pontville. He sends a left foot ball down the line to Pepin, who had to put the one arm up. It was over his outstretched fingertips. Unable to recover, and players arrive. Ball up right in front of the benches. 2-2-14 North Hobart. Brighton 1-2-8 deep into the first term.
James and Young. Enthralling contest this ruck one. Out of the stoppage was Gardner. Kicks towards Poulsen. Put the one hand up. Coming out with it now is Nation. Shrugged one tackle. Ran himself into trouble. Umpire deemed it fair. Lewis Johnston. Saavedra. Meadows is working his way back. Walker's holding him tight. Meadows is on a lead. Didn't want to go to him. McGuinness was going to chop that one off anyway. So Saavedra got a pretty good angle of it here on the AFL Tas YouTube channel. This one will take one of his best. The former Glenorchy player, Jude Saavedra. Kick right on the arc of 50. It'll work its way back majestically right to the teeth of goal. A little bit behind, and there is the quarter time siren. That one nearly just working its way back. They'd be pretty happy with that first quarter though with the Robins as they work their way into the huddle here at quarter time. It is 139 to 2-2-14. The Robins well and truly in this one, Rowie.
Yeah, they've been okay. They've brought some heat, brought some pressure. They've forced North Hobart into some mistakes. And as we mentioned during that first term, when they decide they want to get on their bikes and move the footy with some speed, particularly up this near side, they look really dangerous. They've caught North Hobart on the hop a couple of times, getting back into defence. They've had some players free, but it's just that last target inside 50 that they just don't have this afternoon. You know that Paul Kennedy's tried to make the move and send Meadows down. He probably would anyway in normal circumstances, the resting ruck, putting him deep. But there needs to be some more movement or targets down forward for the Robins to hit, because they're winning enough footy and they're getting into enough open space. They're trying to switch the footy as well. It didn't quite come off late in that term with the Jack Wilson mark and then the miss. But they're doing the right things. It's just a matter of hanging around and staying in these things. And we have seen it a couple of times throughout this season that they do start like this. They're pretty competitive and signs look good, and then second term the opposition team comes out breathing fire, and Brighton are unable to contain them. So goal kickers, all singles so far. It was Wilson with the opening goal of the game for North Hobart, and then Caswell, the late in, he kicked the second goal, and then it was Tyron Bailey who answered at the other end for the Robins. So 2-2-14 North Hobart to 1-3-9 Brighton. 5 points to the good. The Demons, we might take a short break and be back in a couple of minutes' time.
Birthday, Sano? Oh, happy birthday, Sano. Maybe. I'm not. Yeah, you are. You? Yeah.
Oh, good. No, good. Welcome back to Pontville. Second quarter action about to get underway. Arm wrestle in that first term. North Hobart unable to capitalise on a couple of chances, but still hold a 5-point advantage going into this second quarter over the Robins here at Pontville. Brisk conditions, but pretty good classic Tasmanian winter footy conditions. As we get back underway, Caswell tracks the footy. Morgan goes in after it. Did he drag it in? The crowd certainly thought so. Or the opposition benches perhaps. The umpire didn't agree. Secondary stoppage. It goes Meadows, taps it down, then goes and follows up. Gathers the footy, goes in again. Feeds out a handball, did really, really well, and now they're out. Via Gardner, little ball over the top of Saavedra's head. Bounces toward the boundary, clever little knock on, tried to keep it alive, but came unstuck. Good tackle applied. And eventually, it'll be all wrapped up. Ferguson has it trapped to his chest. Umpire says, I'll have it, but Brighton gains some territory. Move it to left half forward, over the top. Meadows once again. Maybe a little bit of holding off the ball. Little makeshift kick by Sulzberger, high up in the air. Morgan had to be brave, and he was. Stood underneath the footy and took the mark on his chest. And we send Brighton inside 50. Fly over the back. Sulzberger at the fall. Uses Ferguson. No look kick around the body. It'll flirt with the boundary line. Won't matter because it's an opposition player there in Gardner to take the mark. He's been prominent today and another good season in the midfield for the Robins. I'd love to get him some help next year, I reckon, though. Into the pocket he goes. Deep into attack. They fly at the back once again. Brought to ground. McLeod with the footy. He's wrapped up. 40 metres out from Brighton's goal.
McLeod, he wraps up Young off the head of Walker, spills out to Morgan, snap kick on goal is rushed, bounce doesn't quite sit as well as they would have liked, and eventually running it over the boundary line was Bailey for the Robins. So 1-3 to 2-2, 5 points in it here. Good start from the Robins already this term. They've been good at starting games. Tap down from Young. Walker in there. McGuinness. Oh, hot on his tail was Whitney. One of the best up-and-coming players, I reckon, in the state, Mason Whitney. I think he had a pretty good Gold Coast tournament, if you can remember that. A lot of media came out of that. Max Gulliver and the like. I think he was sort of in the name there. Young. McGuinness. Umpire calls mine, we'll do it all again.
And that's where you hope that Brighton can hold on to a good young core and get them coming through all together at once. They contest the ruck. Speaking of good young players, McLeod, no look handball over the top was really good. Now kick out towards the boundary. How will this be adjudged? Throw it in, says the umpire. Because they do have some good young talent out in this part of the world. I do think they have the base of a good footy club going forward in this SFL competition. It will take some time, but they're doing some good things. Sulzberger off hands, kick forward for the Demons, but a good defensive mark taken by Williams. He's done that a lot over the journey. Flares it out wide, puts Saavedra under the pump, but he kept his feet. That was important. Gathered the footy, got it onto Bailey. Around the corner he goes. Bouncing ball. Good bounce for Morgan. He went to his knees. He found a teammate with the hands. Saavedra kept on running, received, and then just fumbled at the last moment. Over it goes. They have it inside, attacking 50, the Robins. Played in their half so far this quarter. Can they put it on the scoreboard?
Probably have been one of the most dominant junior sides as well in the STJFL, Rowie.
Always good in the junior ranks. Young, big fist. Spinning move from Tremaine. Dangerous ball, top of the square. Who can take a mark? Might the fall. It was Bailey just might have sped it before he had it. It was Sulzberger. Gathered the footy, got brushed and then got tackled himself. Good pressure applied. Sulzberger was away. But Whitney, that young gun, said, not on my watch. Takes his free kick, sends Brighton inside once again. Saving the day was Janes with a good defensive mark. And I reckon they're probably leading the inside 50s just about the Robins.
So Janes hangs one up. Nation had some runners, didn't elect to go to him. Bites off the kick into the middle. It was nicely weighted off to McLeod. Nation streaming through, just got legged as he kicked it. And Meadows, we're going to be trapped at half-back. Meadows bites off a kick to Howlett. Looking to go down this outer side, Howlett. Kicks off to Hayden. Hayden's run from behind into the path of Waller. Stabs a kick forward, just cut off though from the D's and by Boville. They were looking really good there, the D's, for a minute. The Nation sort of just got legged as he went to get rid of it. Meadows turning it over, and now Brighton have an opportunity to push deep into attack if they're good enough. Young, Gardner, bottom of the pack. Umpire Cole's mine will do it all again here. Good crowd here behind the glass at Brighton. Janes, Hayden, Gardner rather, and crosses the arms over to Adam Baresi. We'll do it and have another stoppage, so they're just edging closer. Janes, Gardner again. Pep and fired a hand pass out. Sulzberger couldn't quite trap it in. Lewis Johnson, hand passes off. Tremaine has a shot from goal. Tremaine off the side, just to the right-hand side.
Another chance for the Robins, who are now 1-4. So they've been okay, more than okay. North Hobart moves it up the near side. Beats the pack of players. Here's Caswell at the back. Took on the tackler, got his kick away. A little bouncing ball towards half forward. Reeves met it, just toe poked it in the Sulzberger direction. Shot out a handball, poke, used the big body. Got it back to Reeves. Neat little ball inside, magnificent from Tom Reeves. From hand to foot in a split second. And all of a sudden, North Hobart have a set shot on goal via the boot of Callum Kilpatrick. Gee, that was good from Reeves.
It was.
So Kilpatrick just to steady things up a little bit here for the Demons. He'll fancy his chances from here. He is a goal kicker. The football. It wasn't a super attractive ball. It was just drifting. And it hits the post eventually. A minor score only. We've had 3 posters so far this afternoon.
So Salter, Tremaine. Tremaine goes further, had Waller on. Coming in from the side was Fulsang. Poulsen tapping this one out of bounds. So they have been more than okay. 1-4 to 2-3. Of course, the home final on the cards for North Hobart. If they lose this, it comes down to percentage and Glenorchy winning. We might have a couple of score updates at half time for you. So Young, off to McGuinness. Slapping it in was Tremaine, moving over from the Roos a couple of years ago. Back in the SFL now. As they look to get their first win of the season, their one and only if it is. Building something strong, hopefully. Either up and getting a tap down or a fist on it rather. Gardner stripped of it, holding the ball is the call. North Hobart are going to look to go forward.
Clarence doing a job on Glenorchy. 6-4-40 to 1-1-7 in that game. The early fly, no free kick given. Here's Monks at the back, ripped off his kick, smothered anyway. They fight in after it. North Hobart players lurking everywhere. They're dangerous here. This will be a stoppage.
So that's big. Glenorchy, if they track over the river.
Mark Tuckett throws it up. Young slaps it. Sulzberger takes it. brushes a couple, gets his hands free. Kilpatrick weaves his way through a couple, then goes and gets his own handball. Picks it up, snaps on the left boot. But Monks plays goalkeeper. Takes it on his chest. And he'll send it back to where it came. A little helicopter punt. It'll work though to Gardner. So he moves things further afield. Just the required distance.
Samuels Johnston out there.
Hemmed in on the boundary. Up the line he goes. Oh, big fly, big mark. What a grab. Terrific grab from Big Meadows. A highlight here at Pontville. And the Robins have the footy. They pump it inside 50. Oh, standing tall and strong was Walker in front for the Demons. Across goal he comes. McLeod, now they can get on their bikes. He's full saying. Went one way, then the other. Presented the option in the middle of the ground. Right, now the running Sulzberger. Flares it out wide, broken up. Lapham was the target. Sulzberger has to go and mop up his mess. He does so. Around the corner he goes, but he's turned it over straight to Williams.
Williams at half back. Kick out wide to Gardner. What a mark that was from Meadows, by the way.
Good fly.
Close scoring here at Pontville. Only a couple of goals. As he chips out to Waller. He's been good at fullback, taking most of the kick-ins. So Waller drives one down the outer side. Pushed out of it was Young, and he's paid that a mark. That was an interesting call. And they shift and open the ground up by way of McLeod. Not sure about that umpiring decision. So McLeod drifts one out. Kilpatrick's been everywhere this quarter, dancing around. Probably needs to take a bounce soon, really. Ran a mole with it. Not in distance, but in steps. Poke, drills one forward. Silver service it was to Lapham.
That's just where they've been a little bit better. That last kick.
Should have really been a free kick in the middle of the ground.
It looked it, yeah, it did.
We'll disregard that. That's happened. 50 metres as well. I think he might have given him a bit of lip for that decision, and you can understand why. It was a free kick, definitely I would have thought, but Lapham's going to be waltzed up here to get their third of the afternoon, Finn Lapham, and to extend it out to 11 points. Easiest kick of the day, and you can probably understand why they were a little bit frustrated there. Were the D's, or rather the Robins, Rowie?
It's a little disappointing though, because that was about 30 seconds after the fact. It wasn't sort of immediately when the decision was called, and he's whoever the
Salter.
Whoever the perpetrator was.
Fletcher Salter, I think.
Yeah, they've handed Finn Lapham the easiest goal of the afternoon at a time where Brighton had the run of play for mine.
They didn't give it, did they? They were sort of in control, weren't they?
They looked good. But that just releases the valve and maybe the floodgates. Back to the middle we go. So fresh off the 50-metre penalty. Gardner wins the footy, feigns the handball, then goes inside to Young. He'll get it back here. Gardner tries to get rid of a tackle. Sulzberger got him, brings him to ground. He's gone. Sulzberger's a beast and not escaping those clutches anytime soon, even if your name is Darcy Gardner. Gets things moving immediately. McLeod wobbles one inside 50 for the Demons. Caswell tries to meet it on the bounce now. Right, he's pile driven into the ground. Good strong tackle. Ball up 40 metres out. Young and Janes to square off. They wrestle. Janes with the tap down. And Sulzberger. Caswell now trying to spin out of trouble. His handball's picked off by Lewis Johnston. Now Salter on the outside. He goes out to the far wing. Oh, juggling mark was excellent from Walker. Brought it under his spell, controlled it, then sent it inside 50. That's a mark paid to the defensive player in Tremaine, I think it was.
Davey, I think.
Yeah, no, Davey, sorry. Pardon me. And a good mark at that. One of these young guns for Brighton. To the outer side they go. Off hands. And it's going to be all racked up. So, yeah, that was a terrific defensive mark by young Riley Davey.
So James, right, and pass further back to Lapham. And we'll see a ball up. Just in front of the club rooms. Young whips it out and then toe pokes it forward. McGuinness. Sam Wright trying to buy a way into this team for finals. Big tackle laid from Walker. We're trying to stream out. And umpire puts it under his arm and we'll do it again. With another stoppage. James coming out was free. Pass over the top was chopped off. Wright chips a kick over. It was intended for Caswell, but Nation was there. Sulzberger chips a little one over the top, was good. Eventually ends up in the lap of Cunningham. And 50 metres.
Yep.
I think it is Cunningham.
It is. It was Nuz arriving late on the mark into the protected area, and gee, that's another stiff one.
It is.
They hurt. They really hurt.
Just starting to get the game on their terms a little bit, Brighton, and then 250s will really peeve the coach off as Cunningham gets his first. They've kicked 2 goals in about 5 minutes here. The Demons, all by way of 50s, and I think that might be his first as well. Everyone getting around him, everyone coming from full back to full forward. Oliver Cunningham might have been his first in the SFL for the seniors. That a big 50-metre penalty against the Robins, where they've just looked okay at times. And then
coaches don't mind conceding goals, do they? When you're playing a good brand of footy and you're just getting beaten and conceding goals, that's okay. But when you give away gimmies, that's where it becomes really frustrating. Ones that probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't have to, especially the first one. Maybe you can get away with that, but that second one was not something I would have liked to see.
To a 17-point margin now in favour of North Hobart. Brighton got up their sleeve. Jacob Young trying to burst through. Couldn't quite take clean possession. Was he held without it? Umpire said he was. Howlett receives the handball. To the outer side, Morgan. Inside 50. Off hands. Chance here. Ripped off the footy. Holding the ball. Young Bierman a little slow. McLeod gets things moving. He's been a really handy contributor so far this afternoon, as is this man Kilpatrick. Just lost his footing, but good enough to feed a handball back. Short ball to McGuinness. Had to go and find it. He pokes a pass further afield. Sulzberger has been everywhere. Back to right. Inside 50 go the Demons. Awkward bounce. Salter had to wait for it. Coming through. Chance here now. Shot on goal. Unable to be converted. Wilson looking for a second. A minor score, so 1 goal, 2 for him this afternoon. He kicked the one from outside the boundary, then missed the one from 15 metres out directly in front. Bit of everything for Wilson this afternoon. Brighton have it in defence.
So Waller kicks to this outer side. Fly from McGuinness from behind. Full saying, McLeod. In there was Tremaine. McGuinness coming away with it though. Sulzberger just flicked it up to himself. That should have been a throw, I would have thought. As they go towards Nation. There's been a whistle called. I
reckon this is another descent call. Mark Tuckett. I think they had.
He was off the play, wasn't he? He wasn't anywhere near it.
Yep, I think there was some choice words after the non-call on the throw.
So Nation now drives it to full forward. Out the back is Caswell. Sits up for him. Just got driven into the ground. Pepin tight along the boundary. Taken high is the call. So perhaps a little unlucky with a couple of calls, Brighton, but you cannot abuse the umpire under no circumstance.
Yeah, now the
no.
frustration is creeping in.
Again, it's their third 50 this quarter. A little bit of ill discipline as we tick over into the 19-minute mark. Pepin's going to get his first of the day. And again, Brighton just being very ill-disciplined, Chris Rowbottom.
Well, the two of those have been born out of frustration from non-calls on free kicks. The first was earlier in the quarter, and there was it was a push in the back that wasn't called, that looked blatant from us 100 metres away. There was some dissent as a result of that. That resulted in a 50-metre penalty, and then the second one with the non-call on the throw. Umpire Mark Tuckett saying, I'm not having that. The free kick was called in the middle of the ground, and then further afield, the high free kick and another 50. So frustration creeping in, some non-calls. Brighton probably feeling hard done by, playing okay football, but just not being rewarded.
They've got to be better than that, though, because they were on the march, really, weren't they?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no one to blame but themselves for the 50-metre penalties. You can't engage in dissent, as frustrated as you might be. And you can't rip guys' heads off just because you've missed a free kick at the other end of the ground. So North Hobart are the ones that cash in. Can Brighton realign and maybe get something back on the board here via the boot of Jatham Poulsen? He's going to square things up. Oh, he just missed the target. It was through the hands of Morgan. And that's a big crunching tackle in the back on right. Gee, that was a heavy hit. Now they're into it. Poulsen has been slammed into the ground by Tyler McGuinness. He's holding his face. This is getting a little ugly, it has to be said. A reverse free kick. This will go the way of Brighton. Gee, I'm surprised the Brighton boys aren't getting into Tyler McGuinness. That was a little over the top. So there's some...
Starting to get heated, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Some verbal being exchanged, without question. Poulsen got absolutely smashed. Well, he collected Sam Wright heavily in the back. And then Tyler McGuinness returned the favour by shoving him into the ground.
And how this quarter's turned out, they need to be very careful they don't give it away. It sounds stupid, but how they've been going this quarter, they need to just zip their mouths and let Morgan have a shot.
And there's no next week for Brighton either, and that's the other risk. When frustrations and tempers start to flare, Morgan sets sail. Looks pretty good off the boot. Working back, fly on the line, unable to be taken. Demons will keep it in. McGuinness got it to a teammate. Bouncing ball still inside the attacking 50. Tremaine brushed a tackle. Got it off to a teammate. Hayden, his handball was picked off. Here's McGuinness over the top now to Poke. And now the Demons can launch off half-back. McGuinness got it back. Pepin, McLeod, they combine all by hand this. This is really, really good. Poke kept on running. Gets to half forward. Sees an open goal square. End-to-end footy from the Demons. Absolutely majestic from North Hobart. Chain of handball through the middle of the ground. They caught the Robins on the hop, and Pope made them pay.
The P word was there. It was pressure. You notice how they turned that handball over Rowie. There was 3 people at that tackle, and they just felt the pressure, did Brighton, and then the link of hand passes, they were out there in all sorts there with the Robins. And again, that's a stack of goals they've put on this quarter. 3 goals. No, it is 4 goals that they've chucked on this quarter, and it's a 30-point margin now. 1-4 to 6-4. They actually, they've only scored 1 point this quarter, have the Robins. And we're 23 minutes in, nearly 24 into this second term. And the floodgates, as you alluded at, just starting to open now. As the Robins drift out of it, as Meadows tracks back and gets his own football. James bombs a big one inside forward 50. Kilpatrick has been one of the ringleaders this quarter to a 30-point lead, looking comfortable with the distance. And it's just one of those grounds, you saw it before, if you can get your link of hand passes out, Rowie, it is really, really dangerous. Kilpatrick has been good. Looking to square it off and kick towards goal is good. Kilpatrick getting his first of the afternoon. He's kicked 1-1 now, and it is just starting to open up this game.
It's just the finishing from North Hobart. They're taking their chances now. They were a little wayward early, but set shots in and around that 50-metre mark, they're just starting to really punish the Robins, and that's just that little bit of added class that they have that perhaps Brighton don't possess at this point in time. We saw that last goal from Finlay Poke, and that was produced from the back pocket all the way to half forward. Chain of handballs, fleet of foot. And then Callum Kilpatrick, class player, has been for a while now, puts that through and makes this margin an even 6 goals. Danger signs here for Brighton, the final round of the season. Now the party tricks are coming out for North Hobart. Sulzberger handballs to the near wing. Back in board, Sulzberger receives. McLeod, short ball good. McGuinness has been electric. Plays on, takes his man on in Meadows, kicks to the pocket. Can he keep it in? I think it might be out on the full. So Brighton ball, some temporary relief as David Monks gratefully receives. Back across goal. Deep into this first half now, and it's been an avalanche in this second term. North Hobart's way. Kick out toward the outer side. Was it kept in? No. North Hobart ball. So this will be Wilmot. Inside 50. Indirected kick. Unable to be taken though. Now there's a tackle applied at ground level. Cries of holding the ball. Umpire says no. We ball it up.
So the biggest margin between these two teams this year is 50. We're at 36, nearing the half. James, oh, that was silver service. Caswell broke through a couple, flicks it off, squaring the goals up North Hobart. And Caswell nearly, brother to brother, combining. That would have put them within, well, 6 second quarter goals nearly as Gardner takes the kick in on this occasion. Chips one into the pocket. It was well held from Morgan. So those 50s really, really costly. They were in the game this quarter. We were saying it. And they've just drifted them out with some ill discipline. A high ball for Young. Stood underneath it nicely. The big hands of number 21, Jacob Young. Former Clarence Root as well. Young sends it further afield to a genuine one-on-one Meadows and Janes. Fist came from out of Janes. Caswell, he chips one. Wilson should have been held. He was. Kilpatrick dances around one. This for his second of the quarter. Callum Kilpatrick squares it up. And he gets a second. 6 goals this quarter for the D's. A couple by way of a 50 and then a couple by sheer strength. Callum Kilpatrick has been the ringleader this quarter, hasn't he, Riley?
He's been electric, Callum Kilpatrick. He had a solid first term and he's been everywhere in this second term. And that was a really nice goal. Play on advantage out of the free kick. Just a little hop and a skip and a step. And then a classy finish.
Yeah, it's disappointing just how they've handled themselves this second quarter, Brighton.
43 points now the margin. And to the middle we go again. Robins footy. High ball towards half forward, but not getting past Fugelslane. Sulzberger, he's been huge as well. To right half forward to a contest. Able to be taken. Morgan's on the scene. He's tackled, got a handball off. Boundaries, sanctuary. Umpire says ball it in.
Just a couple of marks they haven't been able to hold on to when they've needed it.
James and Meadows. Meadows over the back. Will go get his own footy. Well done. Eludes a tackler, then gains 35 metres, kicks to a one-on-one. Walker's been really good down back as well. Beautifully controlled, gets onto his right boot, pumps the footy towards right half forward. Bouncing ball now, eludes a couple. They fight after it. Errant little karate kick from Nation.
Nothing to kick to though, Rowie, when Meadows did break out of the stoppage, eh?
Yeah, that's right. So free kick taken. So going the Young direction, just at his bootlaces. Forced over the line. Ball in. 8-5-53, the Demons. Brighton 1-4-10. Deep into this first half. It's been a 6-goal to zip second term. We've had a bit of argy-bargy, 50-metre penalties. Some genuine rip snorters too. As Gardner attempts to break his way away. They work it by hands. Hayden feeds it out wide to Howlett. Left foot ball up the line. McLeod got to the front then decided to play Rover and it was off hands and he'll end up with it eventually. Pepin to McLeod. Now McGuinness. Back to Pepin. Got time to assess his options. We'll go across the ground to Ferguson. Marks in front of Saavedra. He progresses things, but his kick is no good. It's chopped off by Williams.
So Hugh Williams, after the cup last year for North Hobart, facing himself in a very different position this year as Nuss. Long quarter, 30 minutes, nearly 31. Nuss kicks back inboard to Williams, looking to go corridor. Tremaine just bombs a long one inside forward, 50 out of Hope. Young was at the back, James was at the front. Kick wasn't great, turned over. Reeves. Been a little bit quieter, but Kilpatrick and the like have stood up and Dixon can take a stroll. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce. Jake Dixon looking to get the hand pass over to Poke. Had one earlier, which was good. Stabs one in for Nation. And end to end again. And that is the 4th 50-metre penalty of the quarter. And time is blown. Nation gets this one. 7 second-term goals. And that's a quarter that the Robins would like to forget.
It's not how you want to end your season. And I know Coach Paul Kennedy will be really disappointed in that. 4 50-metre penalties, Bo, in that second term. And maybe a couple of them were a little stiff, maybe, when you're frustrated at a couple of umpiring decisions. But I think after the first 2, then maybe that should be the end of it. But to give away 2 more, we just...
Oh yeah, Paul Kennedy's getting out into the umpires now.
Paul Kennedy's making his way over to the umpires just to have a little bit of a chat, to get a bit of a read on things. It's really, really interesting. They're shooing him away as well, saying, mate, we don't want to hear it.
That's disappointing for mine, Rowie. I don't like that.
No,
I can get... It seems like he is a little... He's walking them over, actually, and they're waving the arms. I'm sure that's going to get looked at during the week. I don't like that one bit. I know sort of you can go and get a bit of clarity for your free kicks, that's fine, but the way that Paul Kennedy was looking there, obviously we're quite a way back, so we can't quite tell you what, but it did look a little bit aggressive potentially. I'm not too sure, but it didn't look brilliant, because them shushing him away maybe wasn't a great sign.
Well,
I guess.
Well, whatever he had to say, the umpires didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I think we can settle on that. And I, as you say, I understand some of the frustration. There were a couple of, wasn't so much the calls, but the non-calls that we think were probably non-calls. But as we said, 50-metre penalties and dissent towards umpires are a choice as well. You can be frustrated, but it's an old footy cliche. When was the last time you saw an umpire reverse a decision because you gave them lip? It's never happened in 150 years of Australian rules football. So, yeah, really, really interesting. But the story is that North Hobart kicked 7 unanswered goals.
That being said as well, I'm sure Mark Tuckett's an experienced umpire. These umpires have had a lot of time umpiring. I'm sure if it wasn't bad
that's
feedback.
it.
They would have
That's it.
given Paul Kennedy clarity on that. So
Yeah.
that's why we're up here assuming that it maybe wasn't the nicest feedback you'd ever get because of how it was received. Obviously, the umpires can explain their decision. They do it a lot, but maybe perhaps it wasn't the nicest feedback. But it's a second half or second quarter to forget, at least for Brighton. They can't. Yeah, umpires don't overturn the decisions, Rowie. That's the simple fact of the matter.
No, and you mentioned Mark Tuckett. He's umpired hundreds
Numerous
of games.
games,
He's
yep.
been umpiring this level of footy for 15 years, I reckon now. He doesn't suffer that stuff. And dissent and umpire abuse, if it even is hinting at something like that, he will punish it. And he's done so on, the umpires have done so on 4 occasions in that second quarter, and it's ended up in 4 goals. But having said that, North Hobart, after Brighton were playing some pretty good footy in the early stages of that quarter, North Hobart were easily the better team. They kicked 7 unanswered. Callum Kilpatrick was electric. Tyler McGuinness off half back, and that Finley Pope goal, one of the best team goals maybe of the season. Yep. They chained it up by hand, and then Pope drilled it with the unmanned goal square from beyond 50. It was a sight to behold, and it hands North Hobart a very, very handy 49-point advantage going into the second half. Just some goal kickers before we take a break. Well, only one for Brighton. It was Bailey in that first term. And then for North Hobart, Wilson, Caswell, Lapham, Cunningham, Pepin, Polk, Nation and Kilpatrick has 2 for the Demons. So dominant term for North Hobart. Plenty of spice. The umpires are talking point. 4 50-metre penalties. Last game of the season for Brighton. Frustration boiling over. We might take a short break and bring you the second half on the other side of this.
Wherever cancer is, we are. We are the supporters, preventers, researchers and advocates, leading Australia to a future without cancer. Every day, we're finding new and better ways to offer services, share knowledge, and bring hope to Australians everywhere, because cancer affects us all. We're here to listen and care for people, however they need us, whenever they need us, through any type of cancer at any stage of the journey. Every day, we are supporting world-class researchers, empowering them to dream big and make the impossible possible. Together, we're pushing boundaries, unlocking the answers to understand, prevent and treat cancer. We're improving the lives of those living with it, and even getting close to eliminating some cancers altogether. You may not see us, but we're here, in schools and people's homes, on the beach, at work and on the streets, helping millions of Australians cut their risk and detect cancer sooner. We know that 1 in 3 cancers can be avoided, so we're out there preventing as many as we can. You may not hear us, but our voice is loud. Every day, we're using it to advocate, change laws and drive policies, to reduce cancer risks and improve cancer care, to break ground and speak for the community in places where they're not always heard. Every day, we're closer to a future without cancer. And as a charity, we rely on Australia's biggest hearts to help us get there faster.
Blunston's been building hard-working boots for over 150 years. The tougher you need them, the tougher we build them. Giving you advanced protection and all-day comfort. After all, you never stand still, so neither do we. Blunston. Building the future.
Oh, you mean the jam and cream? Good stuff.
Go! And one for you as well. Got it.
Original glazed. Classic.
At Banjo's, we speak donut. Introducing our new range of flavours. Now there's one for everyone. Banjo's, making donuts better.
Sounds good.
Thank you. I was listening to it. Interesting game always is. Yeah, big second quarter.
Yeah, huge.
Interesting quarter. I'm not sure I've seen that in the quarter.
No. That's what I was thinking. Just good, Yes, welcome back to Pontville Oval, where we've got a 49-point lead on our hands to the way of the D's. Looks like they're going to swap over from red to yellow. I do like a red ball. I don't know why. I think
Interesting.
weather looks fine enough to have a red ball. I don't
What's
think
going on
any
there?
drifting, but maybe that was the advice that Paul Kennedy was giving as they were walking off. Sort of change the ball. Could have been that, or maybe something a little bit more serious. Either way, it was a blitzing first term or first half to the D's. It was 9 goals in that term, or 9 goals in that half. Chris Robert, take it away.
Yeah, it was. Let's see what Brighton have in this second half. The takeaway from the middle of the ground looks pretty good as they work it by hand immediately out of the centre bounce. I'll get the first forward foray. Taken on the bounce very cleanly indeed. Handball in board to Saavedra. Taken over. The yellow footies.
It is different, isn't it?
Yeah, they do hit a little different, the yellow footies.
I like a red.
I'm a red man.
Keep it red.
All day, yep. All day long.
It's smaller.
Half-time switch. So Rucks go at it. Out of the contest. Coming away with the footies, McLeod. Outside of the boot. Oh, there's some wrestling going on. This will go the way of the Robins. So Darcy Gardner.
I thought he was going to miss that call, to be honest with the umpire.
Well, Paul Kennedy might have stormed the field if he'd missed that one. So Darcy Gardner to get Brighton off to the perfect start in this second half, and after conceding the last 7, 9 of the last 10, it's fair to say they need this, even just for a little morale booster, if nothing else. From about 45. Looks pretty good off the boot. No mistake whatsoever for Darcy Gardner. Here goes bang to open the scoring in this third term, and they score within the first couple of minutes to the Robins. So whatever it was that Paul Kennedy had for him at half time has worked a treat. Darcy Gardner gets his first, and Brighton are on the board in the third term.
It'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall in that meeting with PK. Obviously a really experienced coach in Melbourne, and also Glenorchy in his heyday. So interesting to see how they go. It looks like maybe Hayden has come off down here in the tracksuit. Maybe a bit sore. Does look like him. We'll check that later as we go back in the middle. Janes bursting out with Salzburger, not playing that wild card round in the Coates League, but good mark taken as the sun just starts to disperse here at Pontville. Williams, that was a high raking. You might be able to call it a shank because it was turned over to Tom Ferguson. McLeod, he put his teammate in a bit of pressure, did Ferguson. McGuinness, averaging 24 touches today. He's well beyond that, or on his way there at least. Pepin, looking for a release kick, does well. Big Nathan Janes getting into the fall of it. Having a stellar year. He was really raw when he came in last year, but now finding his feet to Lapham. Lapham further afield now, back to McGuinness, and McGuinness retreats further to Pepin.
How many McLeod's had today as well?
He's been good, hasn't he?
He's been really prominent. Pepin's had a bit of it too. Towards half forward he goes. Oh, good mark, well judged by Williams. Short ball inside is good. Howlett. Brighton with a little bit of pep to start this third term. Kick towards half forward. Fighting the contest was Bierman in North Hobart hands. Oh, look at the tackle, the little reverse bear hug from Dyron Bailey. Got him a little bit high, a little enthusiastic. Here is McLeod. Short pokey pass to Kilpatrick. Tried to go back by hand. Kilpatrick had to go and mop up his mess. Still going in after it. Missed the handball. Wilmot has to track it to the boundary. Helped over by Waller.
Certainly no love lost out there today. There's been a lot of little niggles.
Bit of spice, bit of heat. North Hobart on the verge of finals. Brighton, well, they're hoping to bring to an end a season that is likely to be winless on something of a high note. Chance here. Inside 50 they go. And getting back and reading it really, really well was Dixon taking the saving mark.
McGuinness. That true fullback bites off a kick into the corridor. It's good. It's nicely weighted to Sulzberger and now to Pepin. Just misfired with a hand pass. Trying to track it down now. The Robbins and Cody Morgan. High ball inside forward 50 from Young. Sits out for Bierman. He's a really exciting talent. Here's Thomas Bierman, one of the best on ground in the grand final last year. Lucky enough to be calling that. Some STJFL. He's one of these young kids that Brighton are bringing in to add a bit of value now and for the future. Thomas Bierman looking for Brighton's third. Hasn't troubled the scorers today. This might change. Wind a little bit breezy. It's toned down a touch. Bierman just stabs at it and misses to the right-hand side. Minor score to the Brighton Robins, 2-5.
He'll be disappointed with that. Bierman, that was very, very gettable goal. Here's Sulzberger. He's had his own footy this afternoon. Been a class above throughout the middle. Gee, that's not his finest though. Opens the door here for Bailey, and he was pushed as he kicked. And he has one for the afternoon. He can make it two. Is there a play on advantage opportunity here? No. Umpire Tuckett's going to bring it back. So another little chance here for the Robins. We've had a couple in this third term. Darcy Gardner's converted one of them. Can Bailey make it? Back-to-back goals for Brighton. Directly in front, 45 metres out by the time he kicks it. Set sail for home. The cry of "come on" rings around Pontville Oval. He drills it and they come from all corners. Two in a row, two to Bailey. And two for the quarter for the Brighton Robins. Back-to-back majors. They go to 3-5-23. Still trailing 9-5-59, but good start by Downham.
It was a good piece of play. Bailey liked it off the boot straight away, and why not? I like how they're keeping him out there as well. Instead of dragging him off, how we usually see, he's going to be kept out there and try and lead his team to a more manageable margin. As we go back into the middle now. Literally James now to the ruck. Umpire has plucked a free kick. Adam Baresi. It's going to go the way of Brighton. So maybe just starting to work their way into it now, Brighton, as they go to fall forward. Try from behind from Bierman. There's nearly a high tackle laid on Will Boval. Of course, his brother Charlie would probably be playing the Devils today. Wild card round. Whitney out of the stoppage. Oh, just hitting the post. Another one hitting the post today. I've been a little unlucky on that front, as McGuinness is going to bring this one back in.
Gee, that would have been some finish from young Mason Whitney.
It would have.
I mean, full of class. Fourth poster for the afternoon. Off hands. Kilpatrick back to Ferguson. Snap around the body. Wanted Lapham. Has to contend with a couple of Robins though. Oh, is that over on the full? No, it wasn't.
Have been unlucky today.
Yeah, those little
on that front.
50-50s that haven't gone their way. So margin at 35. James to the front. Palms it down. Here's Tremaine. Will grab by the one arm. Good tackle applied. Just got his kick away at the last moment. Bouncing ball towards half forward. Bierman just couldn't quite meet it at the required moment. Handball out now wide. And they come back across the ground. That was a really risky ball. And there's a 2-on-1 and a good tackle being applied by Pepin to bring Salter to ground.
Not much to go to there for Salter, really, was there? He was just sort of manhandled as soon as he got it.
Just sort of had to be strong in the tackle and hold it up. James, wonderful palm down to right, onto his left boot. High ball towards half forward. Kieran Howlett at the fall. Just tried to get a handball off to Williams, but he had nowhere to go. Holds it up. Another stoppage.
So 9, nearly 10 gone in this third term. Sun's still going here at Brighton. Still chilly though. Meadows rucks and roves his own football. Kick towards half forward. Bierman out the back.
Got some good purchase on that kick, didn't he?
He did. He's quite good at sort of rucking and roving and sending them forward. And Bierman looking for an opportunity. Hung one out to the right about probably 3 or 4 minutes ago, Rowie. Looking to rectify it, and nearly the exact same angle as well. So, has he learned from his mistake of the previous kick? Thomas Bierman will find out with this one. So this to bring it back to 29. Bierman has to be a good kick. I reckon he's just hung it out to the right again. So that's 2 behinds this quarter. Thomas Bierman hanging out to the right.
That's the 4th genuine opportunity of this term for Brighton. They were peppering at the moment.
I don't think Brighton North Hobart have been down there forward 50 too much this quarter, Rowie.
Certainly some wind's a factor as well. Here's Tremaine over the back, handball inboard. Gardner to Howlett, retreats a little bit, then goes outside of the right boot into the middle of the ground, kick laced with risk, unable to find his teammate. They have to jostle for it as a holding free kick, and that relieves the pressure for North Hobart because Caswell will come up with the footy. Plays on immediately by hand. They love doing this, North Hobart. Full sang off half back. Big collision and contest. Williams was a little late. It'll be a free kick to Lapham. And again, that quick release handball. Kilpatrick into the pocket. Well, they spoil each other. Monks and Davey.
Just got our sheets and team sheets flying around everywhere in this box,
Gust of wind flying through the commentary box. Davey just taking his time to emerge to his feet. He looks really ginger. Umpire at the ready. There's a trainer just circling in the forward pocket for North Hobart. Out of the stoppage, off hands to the outside. Cunningham tracks it. Massive bodies out there, plucked out of the back by Caswell. Inside, outside. Wilmot, Sulzberger. Good pass inside to Lapham.
Might be an easy kick though.
He too wanted the handball. Sulzberger kept on running. Shot on goal from Sulzberger. Won't make the distance. Getting back. Here's Davey, who's recovered well. Takes the mark.
So Davey, pull back. Takes a bit of mileage and then sends it out to this wing where James intercepts. Looking to go quickly. Stabs one into the path of Salzburg. They're just off the chest of him. Kilpatrick got done, and that's holding the football. Brighton with some good pressure this quarter. So Bailey just roosts it down to a 1-on-1 where Young and Walker are now full sang emerge. Coming through there was Boville. Coming out of it was Dixon. James, full sang. They do well just to clear it. The kick was adventurous to Reeves. Waller just slams it on the boot towards McLeod and Saavedra. McLeod's going to get there first. He'll mop this one off at fullback and kick out to the wider wing to Pepin. Pepin to McGuinness. McGuinness further afield. The next link is going to be Thomas Reeves, who's made his way from that full forward position. Lewis Johnston. And pass inboard. Put his teammate Morgan under a bit of pressure, and then able to soccer it forward was Cunningham. Williams off the hands of Nation. Swooping through though with the Robins, and they kick out towards Whitney, but that one just stood up in the wind where Fulsang finds himself at half back.
Well, we had 2 men open on the near side, and he picked out the North Hobart player. But they'll get away with it here, Brighton, because they've forced an out of bounds on the full off the boot of Wilmot.
Scrappy piece there.
Yeah, so the wind has picked up. It's favouring the end to which Brighton are kicking. So maybe they're just trying to get as much purchase as they possibly can. at all times. Saavedra takes it on the bounce, confronted by McLeod, takes him to ground, got his handball away. Cunningham picks it up. McLeod recovered, receives, kicks towards half forward for the Demons, just over the head of a teammate. Here's Caswell at the back, kick toward the top of the square. One-on-one contest. Davies at the back, paddles it to himself. Did well, now wobbles it outside defensive 50 where Waller awaits the bounce, gathers cleanly, and he's got a man on the out. It's Morgan. They can move it towards half forward here. Can the Robins? And they do exactly that. Inside 50, they go by a free. And that's that last kick once again, misdirected onto an opponent's chest. And now Lapham. Chance now for the Demons. Full slang through the middle of the ground. Just eluded Sulzberger, but Caswell was good enough. Then Reeves was clever. Play on advantage, free kick. Sulzberger flares it wide. Combines with Pepin. Now McGuinness, who's at half forward. He's floated forward. Stabs a pass inboard. And it's a magnificent kick to Wilson. In fact, it's poke, I should say.
This wasn't a great kick inside forward 50 from Free. I mean, he's a young player. You'll give him that, but
it's just been the story of their day.
Really just sort of hung it up in the end. Didn't have the backspin that would usually be required, and it just sort of worked its way to Bailey Walker, who took a nice intercept mark, and the rest is history, really.
Finley Poke, who probably kicked the goal of the afternoon in that second term. Leans back on the kick on this occasion. No problems whatsoever. Kicks his second for the afternoon, and Brighton, who are pressing. The Demons get one against the run of play via the boot of Finley Poke. And they restore a little bit of order here in Pontville. Bo Downham.
They have been good at, when the momentum is with the Robins, they have been good to sort of bring it back on their own terms, haven't they, North Hobart? We saw it in that second term. And now in this third, they're edging closer though, the Robins, to kicking another one. They're looking good. Just that last inside kick from Free let them down. 3-7-25, plays 10-5, 65, 16 and a half gone here at Pontville. We drift back in the middle now to resume proceedings. 40-point margin even here by way of the D's, who are playing in their white strip today. Young, Pepin. Now Lewis Johnson kicks out towards Howlett, the former Roo. Has a bit to do. Hot on his tail is Cunningham. Just dropped the ball. Umpire called. Oh. So a free kick towards Brighton. Mark Tuckett paying that one. His kick wasn't so good though, Howlett. Dixon chopping that one off. Sulzberger spreading through the middle of Pontville Oval. They go. Stabbing kick forward to Reeves. Back to Sulzberger. Ran himself into some trouble. Was able to evade it. And then this kick is beautiful to a teammate out there in Caswell. So it'll be a difficult kick for Caswell. Options present. Leading into the pocket was Sam Wright. This one might just have to be chipped to the goal square or even shorter than that, but turned over to Hugh Williams.
So Williams, a defensive stalwart for so long against his former club. Here's Reeves confronted. Had to get rid of a couple, did so, then got a little 1-2, and then lightning hands to McGuinness, and now Sulzberger again. He's had 2 footies this afternoon as Sulzberger bounces one out toward the near side. Oh, good. Hard tackle applied by Darcy Gardner on Lapham. And some little claps of applause for him. Over the stoppage, able to be controlled. Here's Reeves. Out to Sulzberger again. Drives it inside 50 for the Demons. It's all Robbins. Oh, off hands, was it? It was.
Paul Kenny looking a bit amused down there as well.
Yeah, I thought that was a good defensive mark, but touched on the way through, said the umpire. So a ball up. Deep an attack for North Hobart. Nation came flying through, claimed in a tackle. Another stoppage, 10-5-65. The Demons, Brighton 3-7-25. Still in the forward pocket. Reeves somehow fed it out. Pepin controls it. He's taken down. And we'll go again.
Either Ruckman getting near that one. Right. Sliding through was Young. Pepin at the bottom of this pack. We'll dish the ball out to the umpire. I think it might be Riley Stevenson out there. He's had a fresh haircut. Usually the long locks. So James jostling to Reeves. Sits it out in front of Wilson. Been quieter this second and third term. Out now to Caswell. Tight along the boundaries. Met by a couple of Ds who, or rather Robbins, who take him down. And umpire crosses over. We'll see another stoppage. So Young ripped out James. Went and fed his own football. Just over kicked it a touch out to Bailey. Hand pass back inboard to Wilmot. Keep spilling out now to Bierman. On the opposite foot. It was a little bit too hot for Meadows, but Walker and Meadows in a foot race now as the troops come for Brighton. And this one will be tugged out of bounds for a throw-in. Meadows and Walker, not necessarily the two quickest guys on the field. So throw-in deep inside forward 50 now for the Robins. Can they score one? Walker with the fist. Out to Caswell. Another one of those guys who've bought a couple of footballs today. Shift across the face of goal. That's how it is done. As Pepin gets this one at fullback.
We receive from McLeod. He goes into Ferguson. Does Pepin. And he thread the needle and find Lapham. Couldn't quite get it over Tremaine. Sulzberger.
Been good.
So tough in the contest. Got it over to Poke. He went back in board, then went by hand to Wilmot. He went to Lapham. Now right. Working in a phone box. Back to Wilmot. They think their way through this, the Demons. Sulzberger. Pepin. Can the tackle be stuck? No, it can't. Still they go. Forced to just slap it on the boot with Sulzberger eventually. They still might come up with this, the Demons. Solder was taken off the footy without it. Cries from the boundary line, and this one will be rewarded. So eventually they get their hands on it. Do the Robins. Salter. Lateral ball. Through the middle of the Pontville Oval they go. Inside 50 once more. At the 4 was Bierman. Done some nice things, but would win himself a clean disposal on this occasion. Caswell shares it with a teammate in Walker. They progress it up the field. There's a whistle on the play here. Play on advantage, said the umpire. Caswell kept on coming. Through hands they go. McGuinness. Now the inside 50 kick. It's scrappy, but Reeves is good enough. He's really good. He's Tom Reeves. Only needs half a sniff. And he punishes the Robins as they go end to end. Tom Reeves hasn't had a huge game by his standards, but he's been solid enough, and he gets on the board with a major.
He sort of just ran around his opponent there, didn't he, Rowie? He didn't put a whole lot of pressure on Tom Reeves. He sort of was able to meander around him and get to the back of the pack, which probably isn't great from the Robins. Maybe a little bit of
he's just crafty. He's just clever.
But he was crafty. It was a crafty goal.
Knows where to be.
He's having a stellar year as well.
Yep.
Playing some rep footy, wrapping the map. Janes, Sulzberger. Janes shoveled a hand pass out. Tremaine at the back of the pack will get this one and try and clear it out wide. Howlett was one of the kicks he could have went to, but goes to Gardner instead. Gardner now further afield, drifts it towards Saavedra, and McLeod has been big today. He's been really, really well down there in the back 50. A lot of love for him as well. Today, he has been really good. Rowie down, playing on Saavedra. James winning the tap down through the legs of Castle. Clean bowled him. We'll end up back with Lapham. We'll see the umpire call for it and toss it back up. Young kicked it right into the ruckman in James. He just sends a high worm burner up and we'll end up push free kick it will be to North Hobart.
That's a little stiff, I reckon.
Yeah, Paul Kennedy not looking too happy.
Yeah, I reckon he's got every right to be a bit frustrated with that free kick. That was just a front-on sort of bit of body contact that probably shouldn't be a free kick, but the umpire said it was, so who am I to argue? Stoppage on the near wing, right in front of where Paul Kennedy stands. Young emerges with the footy. High skied ball towards right half forward. Saavedra sets himself. He juggled it. Well, I reckon he took the mark. Umpire said no. Might have been off hands, but 98% of that did Saavedra. Up it goes. Young and James. Young gets the better of this one. They confront one another. Emerging was Dixon. Little handball just missed Lapham. Did well out of the traffic though.
Maybe a little bit hard done by today in some aspects, the Robins.
Yeah,
they're certainly feeling like they are, at least.
A little unlucky. Some of those 50-50s, and it comes once more. Young to the front on this occasion. Gardner tracks it clean. Into the middle of the ground he goes. Spots up a target. And it's a good one. Now this last ball inside 50, it's been a trouble for them all day, but that was really, really well done by Lewis Johnston. Still fighting hard for it inside the goal square. It's all wrapped up on the last line of defence. The Demons, can they conjure something here, the Robins? Up it goes. Contested footy. Guinness takes the footy and he's taken high.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's... Okay. Oh, I thought he was going to pay 50 there, Roy.
So did I. So did I.
That would have sent the crowd alight here. They would have started storming the field. As McGuinness kicks towards James, jostles at the back and pushes Young underneath it professionally. We'll go further afield now. I think that might have been against Cody Morgan, that downfield free kick. So that's 5 now for the game, 4 in the second term. Disappointing, not the way they would have liked to end their season. Reeves. Usually not having too many 50s, but 5 up to 3/4 time is a little bit bemusing. Dixon. Ferguson. Kick to kick back to Dixon. And Dixon will go back to Reeves with a good fist from the side from Poulsen. And well, so this one tossed back in. So 3-7-25 to 11-5-71. 28 gone in this third term. With Hobart have been kept relatively quiet. Only the 2 goals compared to the 7. James, Tremaine, Young slaps it on the boot. Spare behind the ball though is good. Although Bierman created a contest, even though he was outnumbered. Centres the kick forward. Waller Saavedra from behind. He'll crumb this one. Crafty little pickup. Snap towards the goal. Saavedra for 1. How crafty was that, Chris Rowbottom? On the siren as well. That was a nice kick for goal. Didn't quite hold on to the mark, but it was a crafty little goal there from the Robins. So I think might have actually won that quarter, Rowie.
That was a terrific finish from Jude Saavedra. He didn't bring the mark down, but he did the next best thing, and that was keep his feet, regather the footy, got a quick shot on goal off, and found the middle of the big sticks. And you're right, it was 3 goals to 2 in that third term. The final goal of the term, of course, coming via the boot of Saavedra, his first of the afternoon. Bailey with 2 and Gardner with the other major for Brighton. Pope kicked his second goal in that third term, and Reeves also kicked a goal for North Hobart in that third term as well. And the Demons do hold a 40-point advantage, but they did chip away at the half-time margin, did the Robins, which was 49 points, and had it not been for what was a bit of a blow-up quarter in that second term, then maybe this game might be tracking in a slightly different direction, because yes, they had the advantage of some breeze in that third term, but Brighton have been pretty good, played some good footy. There's been some ill discipline, and there's been some interesting umpiring and some frustrating umpiring if you are a Brighton supporter. But
one umpire that is loving it out there is Mark Holmes, the goal umpire. We'll love a shout out. He actually wears the Ray-Bans, the Meta glasses. Rowie, he's not wearing a jacket out there, but he produces some very, very good content of him in the goals. I think he did one when Jack Dolliver took a screamer.
Is that right?
I'm hoping to see a little bit from him this afternoon, if we can get him to release some footage if he's wearing them. But that'd be good. But again, it's been a pretty good quarter for the Robins as they sort of break for the three-quarter time. I'll let you finish what you were saying. I just thought I'd give a quick shout-out to Mark Holmes.
And good footy family, the Holmeses as well. James Holmes, of course, and Big Homer, the patriarch of the family. He's a ripping unit as well. Just some goal kickers before we take a short break, I suppose. As mentioned for Brighton, Bailey has 2, Gardner and Saavedra have singles, and then for North Hobart, 2 apiece to Finley Poke and Callum Kilpatrick, singles to Reeves, Pepin, Lapham, Cunningham and Tommy Nation as well. The bulk of those coming in that second term. But a 3-2 third term for Brighton makes things somewhat intriguing in this fourth and final term, the last of Brighton's season 2025. I'm not sure they're going to get their first and only win of the season, but it will be interesting to see how they fight it out. We'll take a short break for a couple of minutes and be back soon with the fourth and final frame from here at Pontville.
So a home final awaits here for the North Hobart Demons, who are making their first finals appearance in over a decade. Chris Rowbottom. It's exciting times if you're a North Hobart fan, whereas Brighton are just looking to get some incremental wins as they look forward to 2026. Whereas the Demons have got a couple more weeks yet to go. Meadows ripping it out of the ruck, but McLeod has been really, really solid in that back line for the Demons, as well as this man Pepin played with some pep in his step. Reeves, full saying, shovel the hand pass out. Cunningham is just a little bit too easy now for the D's, who strike within the first 20 seconds here at Brighton. Disappointing out of the middle were the Robins, but North Hobart eating up all their chances that have presented them today. Perhaps a little bit not great in front of goals. Brighton 4-7, whereas North Hobart at 12-5. Chris Rowbottom.
Yeah, it's that was quick and easy, as you say.
Second as well, I might add, for Cunningham.
11 of the 16 goals have been scored to the right end. What do we call it? What do we call that end of the ground?
Highway end, maybe.
The highway end.
Brighton's best bakehouse end.
Yeah. So that breeze, a bit of breeze it's been about all day. And it's certainly made things a little easier kicking to the right of screen. Free kick here for the Robins. By the way of Tremaine. Short ball to Meadows has tried really hard all day for Brighton, being easily one of their best. Plays on, wobbler inside 50. Getting low was Morgan, unable to take it. Whitney came flashing through, stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, the lights are on here at Brighton.
Well, that's maybe why they went the yellow footies. Just
Still
anticipating
pretty good to see, I reckon.
loss of light. All palm down, maybe a throw. Here is Whitney around the body. Got some good purchase, but unable to get it over the line. Mark the teeth of goal. Outside defensive 50 come the D's. Here's Meadows, stood tall, takes another mark. Tries to spear one to a leading target in Young, and he does so with aplomb.
Great kick.
It was a great kick. And the two big men combined. So Jacob Young, we've spoken highly of his season and his game this afternoon. He's been a pretty good contributor for Brighton all year. Has Young. Extra workload today with no Max Lamb in the team. Can he get himself a major? Slides this one across the face, knocked over for a minus score. And a minus score only. So Demons ball deep in defence.
So McGuinness, Mark Holmes signalling that one. Hopefully he has got the Ray-Bans on today. McLeod, he's been really, really crafty down there in that back pocket position. Back to McGuinness. Hugged up against the boundary line. We'll send one down the line to Sulzberger. So three of their big contenders, or contributors rather, all linking up in song. Nuss does well with front position. Reeves does well, picks his pocket. Walker, Wilson, tight on the angle, squared it up towards Kilpatrick, who's had a pretty good afternoon. Monks against his old team, fires one out towards Nuss. High free kick to Jacob Young. Just had a shot on goal, has drifted down to the back line as well, so good work rate as he sends it towards Salter, and Nuss, who takes a good grab from behind on Cunningham. Done some good things today, Nathan Nuss. He'll fire a ball down the line, which is over the head of Bierman, into the path of James. And again, just a little bit of the umpires getting some feedback. Good throw in though. Didn't let him affect him, that umpire. Salter then just gets driven into it. I think that young boundary umpire would be happy to see that as Pepin gets the free kick.
Good tackle applied, strong. Well, now he's into a little bit of trouble. He might have been a bit lucky to get a high one on the way past Pepin. Otherwise, he was in a bit of trouble. Another free kick, and this is going to be a downfield free kick. This might be against the coach on the bench. Short ball from Lapham. So Mark Tuckett once again has paid another descent free kick as Callum Kilpatrick walks it in, and I think that free kick was paid against the coaching staff.
I'm not liking the attitude.
Mark Tuckett pointed to the Brighton bench and gave the little, what would you call that, the yapping signal with the hands, paid the free kick. He has not stood for any form of verbal whatsoever this afternoon, and that'd be number 5 or 6, I reckon.
And it's fair enough. I mean, the attitude of some of these Brighton guys today has been disgusting, really. Maybe a little bit too strong a word. Potentially, maybe disappointing would be one. All started at half-time, really, where Paul Kennedy was getting into the umpires. Sort of you lead by example as a coach, although I'm not sure Paul really care what we have to think up here, but it is disappointing as we move back into the middle. Gardner at the bottom of the pack. I'm not sure how you see. And again, appealing and Salter getting a little bit too hot-headed. Keen to get your thoughts soon, Rowie. Meadows into the path of Sulzberger, who's been one of, if not the best today out there, who spikes it forward to Fulsang. He kicks towards Kilpatrick, who just scored that goal. He's had a good day out today, Callum Kilpatrick, working in the finals. It looks like a home final is all but theirs, and out the back the Robins. Just dropping it on that occasion was Davey. Spreading from the contest was Salter. Going forward was Cunningham. Salter still a little bit angry. Fletcher Salter will have a ball up.
Yeah, well, we're not far away from the Brighton bench, and you can actually hear them sort of commentating almost, and providing comment as the play is sort of unfolding, and some of them are appealing for free kicks and sort of barracking almost, and the umpires aren't really standing for it. And the question I would have is it a question of dissent/abuse, or is it just, you know,
on the line,
or where is the line? Is it something a little different? Whatever it is, the umpires aren't standing for it. And some of them have been, most of the free kicks that have been paid have been against the players, but that last one was certainly, I think, against the coaching bench. And it's really, really interesting because 3 or 4 of them have led directly to goals. As Lewis Johnson almost misses his shoe as it unravels here for the Robins a little bit. They get out of it. Salto goes up the line. Good double fister coming out from McGuinness, and North Hobart player in Cunningham goes directly into the Brighton bench. But yeah, it's been fascinating. And just a little bit of frustration, and last game of the year and no next week, and combination, and there have been missed free kicks, Bo, and there has been some umpiring that has been a little questionable, and Brighton have been a little bit stiff. But yeah, experienced umpires like Mark Tuckett are going to go into bat for the younger brigade of umpires, the kids, and set an example, and pay free kicks when there's chirp. So,
yep,
I'm not totally against it, to be honest. As the ball gets flung in, spills to the front. Pepin's there, as is McLeod. Another touch for him, gets it to Pepin. McGuinness, he's had a stack of it too. Kick smothered over the line onto the North Hobart benches. Adam Bester recently re-signed. Another 2 years. I've spoken a lot about Brighton today, but North Hobart's season deserves some chat as well, because, as you mentioned, they are back in the finals, which staggeringly, for the first time in more than a decade, for a club like the North Hobart Football Club, big, famous, proud, traditional club, to not taste September for that long, pretty remarkable.
Been good at reserves level as well of the Ds. Meadows, Gardner, slung around in the tackle, releases it out to Morgan. Wasn't actually playing today as he drives them forward. Young from the side as they Look to get another goal. Sock it off the ground. It'll be a behind. And best, they've just been seamless today, really. Have the D's. We sort of came here expecting what was going to happen. Pepin from behind, nearly got up behind. And free kick to Meadows. I wonder if they like that one down on the bench. If they're happy with that. A little bit disappointing. Meadows, Young, McLeod, standing in the road. He's been really, really solid.
The votes are going to be tough.
They are.
This man, I think he's in there for me. I'm not sure in which position, but he's in there.
He has been good. Oh, getting in the Meadows as well, the old North Hobart ruckman. Getting in a young Fulsang as well, which interesting. Salter, Bailey,
that's 50.
Cunningham, and Swapfire's still around the ground at the moment.
See, that for me looked like a 50-metre penalty. He wheeled around a kick, and where was the protected area?
Yeah, it's been an interesting day in terms of umpiring.
I mind to, and now they've reversed. Hang on, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, I'm not too.
There's been a reversal of the free kick somewhere. It might have been a skirmish happening in the middle of the ground.
And this is where you don't mind Paul Kennedy getting a little bit mad because you're trying to keep up with the play.
You can be frustrated without abusing.
Yes, yeah. Certainly haven't been missed today, the umpires.
Here's Meadows again. In the middle of the ground. It's a good ball. It had to be. Now off half back. Inside 50. That's a pretty good kick too. Able to be brought down by Bierman. Kick was smothered. He's had some opportunity this afternoon. Here's Lewis Johnston. Pokes one into the pocket. Ferguson got a hand in. Saavedra kept his feet as he normally does. Just shimmied the hips. Fed the handball. Another entry for the Robins. 3-on-2. Lapham at the fall was clobbered high as he kicked. And that will be a free kick, as it should be. They continue to get into it, these two teams.
This must be third versus fourth finals, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, that would be
pretty
accurate, I would say. McLeod, another touch. Ferguson. Up the line, he spied James, but his kick went to the other ruckman. And the opposing team, Meadows, into the middle. Waller, got some time and space. Targets lining up across half forward, but he can't quite find one. Morgan was good enough. Just basketball dribbled it to himself. Moved it on by hand to Bierman, to his fellow young gun in Whitney. Didn't get the purchase he desired. Top of the square, McLeod. Oh, he's been magnificent all day. Won the battle. Kick beyond defensive 50. Caswell had it knocked away. Sulzberger as well. He's probably in my votes too. He's brought to ground. We'll have a ball up, top of the 50.
Yeah, the problem solving from North Hobart on that occasion and on multiple occasions today in their back 50 has been on full show heading into finals. Salter, 12, nearly 13 gone. It feels like there's been a whole lot more time in this quarter that's actually gone, but the Salter's trapped. Kicks out to Pepin. There's been a lot happening this quarter. In fact, all game. He kicks forward to Wright. Wright's hand pass back to Cunningham. Was happy to take the boundary line. Knew it was there. Do like the strip from North Hobart.
Yeah.
Nice white base. I would like to see them rock it maybe a tad more as well. Not just against Brighton. I really do like it.
Traditional monogram on the front.
Looks good. James has been outstanding today. Lewis Johnson, he's battled hard for his team. Salter out the back finds it. Hand pass and spread from Lewis Johnson over the top to Waller, who takes a bounce. Further afield they go. Now the Robins takes a couple of bounces and sends it forward towards Thomas Bierman, who's in a bit of space, but the ball not working in song with him. Spills out. Someone And the car park will have to retrieve this one. And it'll be thrown back in. Deep inside forward 50 for the Robins. Looking to get the 5th of the day, 4-9 it is. To 11 or 13-5 rather. 2 goals this quarter to North Hobart. So ground level they battle Reeves. Ball up.
Don't have access to stats, but I reckon Sulzberger will be up
been
around
good.
the 40-ish for this afternoon. Gardner from the impossible angle across the face. Out of bounds on the full. I reckon the Clouds had somewhere similar.
It's been a team that have worked in song today, haven't they? They've sort of known where everyone is.
Yeah, they look really good. They look like they have genuine connection. And they look really well drilled, North Hobart. And when they get it flicking through the hands, they look very, very good. Irresistible almost. Going to be a really interesting watch in September. James knocks it down. Bodies collide.
Another smoky for mine. I know Glenorchy did beat Lauderdale earlier in the year. I think it's Lauderdale's to lose, but if anyone was going to really compete with them, the link of hand passes is going to be a huge way of getting there.
Jones, the big fist, hacked out of there by Tremaine, gets some good territory. That was really brave from Ferguson, getting low, putting the head over the footy and riding the tackle.
Perhaps maybe the only back line to compete with the 4 tools if Lauderdale are going to go that way.
Yeah, that's the difference that Lauderdale has, is the big gorillas, big gorilla forwards. Howlett just crafts a kick wide, kept in. Tremaine, top of the square. Bierman got hands to. He's had half chances all day. Bierman. Now they chain it up. Right to Wilmot, back to right. Squeezes a kick out of the congestion. Had to be good. Oh, nice mark taken. Fugelslang, who was put under the pump. Reeves, now Cunningham. This is where they're at their best, North Hobart. To half forward now. Flying shot on goal, all the way to the line. Missing.
A few premature horns.
A minor score.
I think they were thinking they were in the North Hobart fans. The horns just going off a bit early as this kick out towards Tremaine ends up in the car park. So North Hobart had a string of 5 games, 2 wins, and then a couple of games where they lost back to back. But now they're going into finals with 2 under their belt, winning this one last week, and now they're all but certain to win this. Janes out of the ruck, around the corner from Reeves, sits it out in front of Nuss. Coming out to meet it was Monks. Nuss still battling at ground level. McGuinness has drifted forward, just bumped the awaiting Howard off the ball, and Mark Tuckett calls for it. Ball up. Meadows straight to Williams, who was playing goalkeeper in the lap of him, and he's caught cold by Tom Reeves.
Yeah, it's what Tom Reeves does. Forward pressure, sticks his tackles. He'd be good for 5 or 6 a game, I reckon, Tom Reeves, and earns free kicks like this every week.
Quite a day for him. He's actually kicked 1 goal in that 3rd term. I need this guy firing for finals. Tom Reeves sits it in and into the car park. North Hobart have got their 14th of the afternoon, and this game all but sealed here at Brighton. Tom Reeves gets his 2nd.
Yeah, it's sealed all right. There's no doubt about that. Just a matter of how much and how Brighton can finish off their season with 10 or so minutes remaining.
The biggest margin between these 2 teams earlier, Rowie, was 50 back in round 5. Caswell kicked 2 or 4 in that game. Lamb with 3. Just thinking Lamb could have been the difference today. If he was in and fit and firing, he might have presented another option for them when they were looking so good in that second and sort of third term.
Without question, they've really missed a target up forward. Who they can rely on, because as we sort of mentioned earlier, the inside 50 count, we don't have the numbers, but on the eye test, they've been inside 50 plenty of times. They've had plenty of possession, and here's another one for Brighton, but that's the story of the day right there. Harry McLeod getting in the way, intercepting, and then North Hobart being able to reload off half back by their premium users. And this is where they're good. They're crafty. They work things out. They can't quite get it to go on this occasion, but good problem solvers, as you said a little earlier, are the Demons. But you're right, if they had a Max Lamb there to take a key defender, and maybe that would have allowed a Saavedra or somebody else to be even more dangerous too. I'll go inside again here. Whitney from deep sets sail for home. And that is a nice highlight late in the piece for the Robins. One of their young stars with one of the highlights of the day. And it's good to see. It might be a losing effort, but that is one that'll bring you back for next season. And didn't they get around him too? And I do feel that a couple of these Brighton youngsters maybe deserved a little bit of reward for effort. Bierman, Whitney. What a finish.
He's a star. Mason Whitney, good talent. As we back in 5-9 to 14-6. Trying to finish this game out the best they can, the Robins. Young and Janes in the middle. It's been an enthralling contest, really. Janes, you could say, has won it, but both Meadows and Young have been pretty good. Didn't elect to jump for that one, did Young. Full sang. Janes dumps it long inside forward 50. Pack forms from behind. The fist came from Howard. Reeves with the crumb. Left foot snap on goal is missing everything, in fact. So down the line, David Monks thumps a long one. Young from behind with the fist, holding free kick will be paid. So they're going to ride the umpires till the final siren. Which unfortunately has been on the headlines today as they stab a kick forward, North Hobart. McGuinness out the back in best position. Monks just paddled it back inside the field of play. Monks and handing it over now. Howard, Waller, the usual suspects coming out of fullback for the Robins. Kicks towards a 2-on-1 where Saavedra had a good effort, didn't mark it, fell to the back and made a nice tackle. He's been one of the better players today for the Robins, hasn't he?
I tell you what I like about it. He has such a good ability to keep his feet. He flies through his marks, but he pounces up like a cat. And he's always on his feet. Doesn't go to ground much. He's got such good balance, does Saavedra, which means he's always in the contest. So if he drops a mark or if it comes to ground, he's always in the hunt. Demons ball on this occasion, a little wobble at a McLeod. Gee, I reckon he's had 50 today, McLeod. He has absolutely dominated in the back half for North Hobart today. A little awkward one now. This kid's been pretty good too. Full slang, and Sulzberger's had probably just as many as McLeod has, if not more. He's going to set up another shot on goal here via the boot of Wright.
Quite a day for Sammy. He has been a good outlet kick as well, but hasn't troubled the scorers just yet.
Been handy.
He has.
Just handy.
One of those.
Some big ones here though. So with a little bit of breeze at his back, distance hasn't troubled too many from this end of the ground. Get it there, but he'll just miss to the left-hand side. Will Sam right on this occasion and add a minor score to the tally.
So one of these demons trying to keep his spot come finals time, as that one's just over the head. Waller juggled it a couple of times. He flicked the hand pass back to Huey Williams. Williams over the top. He'll get it again, keeps it in or maybe not. So the outs for today are Boval, Miller, Volta, Banks-Smith, Devine and Procopiece.
Some talent there, isn't there?
So you'd think once the Devils' season is over, which I think might be today, I don't think they got up against the Giants, they've got to bring those 7 guys in, potentially. So who makes their way for it? It's going to be a tough call at selection for Adam Bester. Young out the front, hits up Waller. Waller goes forward to Bailey. Showed some signs today. Tyron Bailey has been pretty well in the competing area, as Meadows as well, who's had a pretty good day.
Yeah, he's been their best, I think.
Big Bruckman against his old side. 5-9 to 14-7, 25, nearly 26 gone in the term. Meadows is going to square himself up along the fans. Trying a few autographs while he's at it. So this will take a thumping kick. Does he have the legs in him? Meadows from the arc of 50, won't quite make it there. Falls to the top of the goal square where Young was there. Reeled it in, dropped it, but went back for more. Ball up, deep inside forward 50. Right on the teeth of the box. So Young, full saying, he's been good. Hits it over to Walker. He'll get his own hand pass eventually. It falls back into the lap of him, and now they're off the races in Lapham.
Got a man on the outside who just spilt the beans at the last minute. Good enough to recover though. Young Cunningham. Up the line he goes. Wanted Nation. Worked off it. Nuz takes it on the bounce. Assesses his options up the line over the head of the intended target, but here's Whitney, slaps it on the boot, wobbles one forward, and here is Bierman. He will get his reward in the end. And the two youngsters combine, and they work it up the wing through the big sticks. Bierman gets his first. He's had a couple of cracks at it this afternoon, a couple of half chances. Don't come too many easier than that. He slaps through his first of the afternoon just to bring some respectability back to the scoreboard. 46 points the margin.
We did say it was 50 points the last time, or round 5 rather. The last time they met it was 29 points. Just cannot, as we said before, cannot help but think that Max Slam would have added a bit today to this Brighton team, who have been interesting in a number of ways today, on field and off field, as Young slaps it out of the ruck. Bottom of the pack is Gardner. Hasn't stopped battling today, is Gardner. Out to Lewis Johnston. So the two marquee players working in song with each other. Lewis Johnson. And now nearly finding Bierman on the lead. McLeod spinning out of trouble. That was really professional by him. Sits it out. The kick wasn't so good, but didn't have to be. He has been the best today, I would have thought. Or maybe it was out in the full, my apologies. Kicking towards Tremaine. Tremaine to Williams. This time last year was booting up for a final series was North Hobart. Nuss. Monks. Clearing kick out from Reeves. Sits down in front of Williams, but Tremaine does well. Goes further afield. Howlett's going to take this one on his chest.
Howlett onto his left. Ugly ball. Put his teammate under the pump. He managed to get off a shot on goal though, and it was missing to the left-hand side. A minor score only. So 41 the margin. I haven't been thumped today, Brighton. It's been a funny old game because there's been some frustration and 50-metre penalties and all sorts of things, and North Hobart have certainly played the more attractive brand of footy, but 40-odd points certainly nothing to be totally ashamed about for Brighton, I wouldn't have thought.
And they've won the quarter, actually, Rowie.
Which means they'd be winning the second half. So they won the third term as well. Sulzberger dropped one he should have taken, got it back to Poke, who had to just improvise and did so really well. Outside of the boot, popped one over the top to Dixon, and now that opens things up for him inside 50, because he's got a man inside. I think it's Lapham.
Yep.
Yeah, if it hadn't have been for that little sort of 10-minute patch in the second term, then who knows? But we must acknowledge that North Hobart do have some real talent not out there today as well. And I tell you what, if Harry McLeod can cap things off with a goal here, it might be one of the best individual games of the season, because he has had a mountain of the footy. He's repelled everything out of the D50. I wonder if he can ice it with a major. Not a bad effort from where he was. It'll just miss. Over for a minor score. And there is the siren. A siren that brings Brighton's season to a close. A winless season. Their first year in the SFL Premier Division goes unrewarded, but they did show plenty of fight against the North Hobart team that is finals bound for the first time in more than a decade. And they get out of Dodge with a resounding win, 14-8-92. The Demons to Brighton 6-10-46. Funny old matchup here in Pontville. A game that North Hobart took by the scruff of the neck in the second term via, what was it, 3 straight or 4 straight 50-metre penalties. There was dissent, There was a little bit of abuse, there was some argy-bargy. The umpires weren't having any of it. It broke the game open, and they never looked back, did the Demons. Goal kickers, 3 to Callum Kilpatrick, 2 to Finlay Poke. Singles, 2 to Tom Reeves, singles to Pepin, Lapham, Cunningham and Nation. While for Brighton, who were pretty good in the second half overall, 2 to Bailey. Goals also to Gardner, Saavedra, Whitney and Bierman. In fact, in that second half, they kicked 5 goals apiece. And it was only that second term, as we mentioned, where North Hobart kicked 7 straight in that second term to nothing to open up a 49-point lead that really separated the two teams. There was some controversy throughout with Paul Kennedy approaching the umpires and having some choice words. He was told to shoo away. We think one of the 50-metre penalties in the second half was a direct result of some chirp from the boundary line. But in the end, it probably didn't affect the result a whole heap. Let's be fair, North Hobart the better team on the day. Bo, who are your best 3? Because I reckon North Hobart had maybe 10 really, really strong contributors, and the votes are going to be pretty tough, I reckon.
I think Harry McLeod would probably get my 3, Rowie. He was instrumental. Tom McGuinness had a really good game switching between the forward and back line, and also Nathaniel Sulzberger as well. Probably round out the 3-2-1. I'm not sure if we got it on our camera, that little Paul Kennedy stint, but I'm sure that'll probably be looked at. The umpires will make a pretty big report on that. It didn't look good. It was a bit unsavoury for mine. And all day, I think Brighton's attitude towards the umpires was pretty disappointing. So, love for them to sort of have a bit of a talking to about that. Although they don't really care what we think, Rowie, but just for more sportsmanship, and the umpires are giving up their time to come out here and have a game. So, would like that to be sort of rectified coming into next year. It's not a good way to end, but I think those 3 for mine, Rowie, where Brighton have got a lot to build on, I think, in the next couple of years. With some young talent. We saw it on display with Mason Whitney and the likes of Bierman, so if they can keep building or talking off air about some recruitment stuff that they need to get right, Brighton can certainly be a good team going forward, but it just hasn't quite been their year today. Rowie, who have you got for the 3-2-1?
Yeah, I agree. We spoke about him all afternoon, and I thought the best on ground today was Harry McLeod. He was just... he was doing it all in defence. He was playing as sort of a small rebounder at times. He was playing as... He did a little bit of lockdown. He was laying tackles. His use was excellent. His run, his creativity. And then he floated forward late, and if he drilled that goal, gee, that would have been some real icing on the cake. But I thought he was the best player on the ground. I thought Sulzberger through the middle just dominated in patches where the game was there, sort of up for grabs. He was the best midfielder on the park, and we don't have the stats, but he would have had 40 plus, there's no doubt about it. Set up a couple and was excellent. And then the one vote is tougher because there were so many even contributors. I thought Cal Kilpatrick was really, really good as well when the whips were cracking. Creative forward, kick 3. Tyler McGuinness, who you mentioned, had an excellent game. And I thought there were really even contributions throughout. I thought Bailey Walker was pretty good. I thought Finlay Pope did some good things. Janes in the ruck as well. Maybe he's the one vote, Nathan Janes. Actually, I'm going to go Tyler McGuinness. I think
good.
I think he gets the one. So I think 3 McLeod, 2 Sulzberger, 1 McGuinness, and I think Charlie Meadows was the best of Brighton's today.
So that brings us to an end here at Pontville. The best time of the year is coming up next week with our finals starting. Make sure to keep an eye out on our pages for the fixtures. Chris Robon, it's been a pleasure with you today working. I hope you've enjoyed it on the AFL Tas live stream. Thanks for coming in, Rowie.
Yeah, absolutely. Been fun. Hope you enjoyed the call, all that were viewing and listening. And yeah, it was good fun, Bo. We'll do it again soon.
We sure will. We'll see you for next week for the first week of finals.